Hey guys, it's Rodimus Primal. I am back with another video, and today I hope you guys are having an awesome 4th of July. Obviously, I am not at home, and I am spending my time at my mother-in-law's, and obviously some Transformers news just dropped, so obviously this is going to be something about Transformers Cyberverse, so let's take a look. Okay, so obviously if you've been following Transformers Cyberverse for quite some time, all of these evergreen designs came out, and the animated look is going to follow those designs. And I'm pretty excited about it, believe it or not. You know, because I actually got to see it last night after I posted my review for the Commodore 64. It was way too late for me to record anything, so we knew we were coming here for the 4th of July, and unfortunately, you know, I don't have my recording equipment with me, but I do have the images saved, and we can take a look at them here, from everything from Bumblebee and Optimus and Megatron. And the bios are on Transformers.com right now. You can see the images, and you can flip the images as well. And when you flip the images, it gives a little bio, but the bios are clearly written by Bumblebee. Or at least this iteration of the Bumblebee character. And it also reveals the entire cast for Transformers Cyberverse. This is what's most interesting, because each of the characters are, you know, are shown, to show a lot of G1, and the Autobots that they show are pretty cool. We're very familiar with a lot of the Autobots, so let's go take a look at, each of them. Here you have Optimus, you have Bumblebee, and you have Windblade, and everybody already knows who they are, and they kind of follow that, Cyberverse aesthetic, at least is following the Evergreen aesthetic. Windblade and Optimus and Bumblebee. I like how all three of them look as far as, what their designs are. The next robot designs you can see are Grimlock, Wheeljack, and Ratchet. And Grimlock, obviously has that evergreen design that they're following. He has a mouth, and I don't necessarily care for the mouth, but then again, I mean, Transformers Robots in Disguise Grimlock, I did like that version of Grimlock, so having a mouth is okay. Wheeljack looks kind of weird with the goatee. I'm kind of digging it. It kind of brings you that, like, it crosses between the G1 and the Transformers Prime Wheeljack, which, again, is always a plus. And the same thing for Ratchet. Ratchet seems like it's like a cross between G1 and Transformers Prime as far as his character is concerned, and I like, that design. Now, these next three characters, I actually like their designs for the most part. I'm going to actually go from right to left with these next three, is because Blur is the first one I want to talk about. Blur, he has like that G1, the chest and the robot mode as far as like what he looks like. It's almost as if like they mashed the IDW, the G1, and the animated look for Blur, so that he's kind of like, he's thinner, but he has that IDW head, which I don't really care for. I actually prefer him with more of a square head, like he had an animated in G1. But from what the bio says, he actually sounds and looks like he's supposed to be. And I'm actually excited about that. Then there's Prowl. Prowl, there isn't too much to say about Prowl, just the fact that he does have the shoulder-mounted blasters on him, which the G1, cartoon did not have, but the toy did. So I'm actually, I'm happy that they actually decided to incorporate that with him. Now for Hot Rod. And I really dig this version of Hot Rod. It's like, it takes the best of, that G1 look while bringing it to a modern feel. I like the flames on the chest. It's a good homage. It doesn't necessarily look, too over the top as far as like what his chest is supposed to look like. And I dig it. I think it's a really good head design. And I hope that, his characterization in the show, kind of brings him to what he's supposed to be, and that obviously is going to be Rodimus Prime eventually. That's if they actually decide to do that. Now moving on to the Decepticons. Clearly, obviously, you've got your standard Megatron, Thundercracker, and Starscream. Now, what's interesting about Thundercracker is that his robot mode design does look different than Starscream. This is a plus. This gives him that same like G1 look and G1 feel with, those shoulder you know, pads, so to speak, that actually were part of the G1 Toys jet mode. And then, of course, the, you know, color scheme on him is a, you know, obviously a straight blue. Whereas, like, Starscream himself, you know, has a little bit more style. He has, like, stripes and stuff like that. But this version of Thundercracker, you know, really making him stand out and making him look different, I think, is a good thing. Because, you know, the characters of Thundercracker, Skywarp, and Starscream all look the same. And having him look, you know, very much different is a good thing. So I'm actually excited about that. Moving on to the next three is where I'm actually going to again start from right to left with this one, and that's starting with Slipstream. Clearly it's pretty much Thundercracker's design, but as a female bot, and I like that. I like the fact that her head design, you know, has that, like, you know, G1 aesthetic. I mean, she was never a G1 character. The name Slipstream was used for a different Transformer, but obviously this Slipstream is obviously colored upon the Transformers animated look, which was originally based on G2 Ramjet. So I actually do like this design for her. I think it actually fits. It makes her a little bit more, you know, like she's she's supposed to be a commander of some sort. And I actually like that idea of which way she looks. Shockwave seems to take a lot from Transformers Animated. I think that the eye looks a little bit more angular, which I don't really care for. But he has like a weird, like, yellow dot on the top, which is alright, I guess. But what more can you really say? It's Shockwave. Now, this next one is Shadow Striker. And Shadow Striker looks like pretty much she would be Lugnut's either daughter or sister or something, because that's pretty much what she is. She's like the female Lugnut. And, you know, with like the one eye is covered, so that kind of reminds you of animated Blitzwing, yet has like the eye on the top. So she obviously has something, you know, some weird head design going on there. But I dig it. I think it's pretty cool that, you know, giving us a new Decepticon, a new female Decepticon. So we're both getting Slipstream and we're getting Shadow Striker. So I wouldn't be surprised to see toys of them both. And the last two here are Soundwave and Acid Storm. Clearly, obviously, they are not going with Skywarp with being one of the Seekers, and that kind of upsets me because Thundercracker and Skywarp were like a duo. They're supposed to like always be like a tag team with each other. So I guess the fact that we're having Slipstream and Shadow Striker is already enough, having enough jets to fill the ranks. So Skywarp is obviously going to be left out. Maybe Season 2. Maybe Season 2 will bring in Skywarp along with the Coneheads. But we'll see. But Acid Storm looks like it's pretty much the same design as like Slipstream and Thundercracker. Obviously, the, you know, more obviously on Thundercracker's side. And he's colored very much like you would expect Acid Storm to be. Now, if you don't know who Acid Storm is, if you've never heard of Acid Storm before, back in the original G1 cartoon, in the episode Divide and Conquer, there were 3 Decepticon jets that were Rainmakers, and obviously later fiction named Acid Storm to be one of them. So Acid Storm is this jet here, and he is, I actually kind of dig it. I like the idea that his color scheme is a little bit more stylized for, you know, modern audiences, and it brings in another Seeker into the mix. And this Soundwave, I've already talked about this Soundwave before, you know, when I talked about the Cyberverse designs, and it looks like, again, they've updated Soundwave for the, you know, for modern take. You know, he's going to obviously be a truck, you know, and at least as far as what we know is what his alt mode is supposed to be. And he has that G1 design. I'm wondering how they're going to incorporate his minions. If we're going to see Rumble and Frenzy and Ravage and Laserbeak and maybe Buzzsaw or Overkill, Slugfest. Yeah, I can pretty much go on a tirade how we need more of Soundwave's minions. But I actually kind of dig them. So, you know, I honestly think that these new Decepticons are actually, or yeah, I should say all the new Transformers actually look really, really cool. I'm excited about it. I want to know what you guys think. I hope you guys have an awesome 4th of July. You know, get out your barbecues, you know, cook your steaks and your burgers and your hot dogs and chicken and all that kind of fun stuff. And I hope everybody has a safe holiday. Obviously, if you're those of you who are outside of the United States, I also hope you know the best for your guys' families. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. You know, like this video, subscribe to the channel. If you want help, you know, support me on Patreon, and obviously, you know, follow me on Facebook and on Twitter, since obviously YouTube does this whole thing where they don't, you know, notify you when my new video comes out. Like yesterday's Commodore 64 Transformers game review. You know, I would hope that more people would have seen it, but that's the name of the game with YouTube. So obviously follow me on Facebook and Twitter will help me out, because then you'll be able to know when new content is released. So as always, guys, until next time, till all are one.